All right, Justin, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you.
So, have you had a chance to look over the observation notes?
I did. I did. Thank you very much. It was a good, a lot of good feedback. Some stuff that I'm gonna try to do next time, maybe within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, well,
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you letting me come in and watch. I enjoyed looking at your lesson. Looking forward to talking to you about it here and asking some questions.
Okay.
Just so we know, it was an Algebra 1 resource class for the second semester. So
Yep.
that's what we saw. So let's get going here.
Okay.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst lesson you've ever taught in your whole life,
Okay.
and 10 being the absolute best,
Okay.
how would you rank? Where would you rank that lesson at?
It wasn't as, I mean, it wasn't as bad, but I've had better. I'd say probably like 7 or 8. Probably more on the 7 side. Just I didn't like how some of the things went. But,
Okay.
So I'd say about 7.
So room for improvement. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What pleased you the most about the lesson?
One of the hardest things that I've noticed with particularly like a resource group is there's always kids off task. But today, although it didn't go as well as I wanted to, I truly felt like all the kids, they got work done. They worked all the problems. I know at the end we had a little bit of extra time left. That's one of the things that was in the feedback. But I was just proud that they worked the whole period, and I really think they got something out of it today.
Okay.
All of them. That's rare that I have all 11 being on task doing what they're supposed to do. So I was pleased with that.
Especially resource class, right?
Right, like that. You got to keep an eye on all of them for sure. So yeah, I was very pleased with
Okay.
that.
So what would you have to change, you think, to get that lesson from that 7 you said to maybe not necessarily 10, but at least closer to the 10 range?
Well, I'll tell you, during the lesson today, I instantly regretted having them change because I had them changing rotation. Yeah, every 15 minutes they were going. And then I felt like it took maybe 5 minutes to get them to calm down and start. And again, that was me. We don't do a lot of group work, although I do want to start incorporating it enough, but that was instantly, that's why I had to change in the middle of the lesson. I was like, okay, just everybody stay. We're done rotating.
Yeah.
So that, and that's kind of, it's kind of poor planning on my part because I do know these kids got ADD and ADHD, but, just in my mind, a simple task, get up and move, is not so simple to them. So that's probably the soul that could get it up a lot.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So let's expand a little bit on that.
Okay.
What can you tell me a little bit more about that? What that would look like with the changes you're talking about making there?
As far as if I would have made those changes prior, like what?
Well, what would get you closer to that 10? You're talking about not making the movements happen, excuse me, things like that. So just expand a little bit about.
Okay.
What would there's up with the groups, the grouping, make a difference or something along those lines?
Okay. Yeah, I think having these kids, since they are resource, they need structure, which on a day-to-day they have. Today, having the groups being up a little bit, it wasn't as structured. So I think I would probably expose them to it a little bit, like, hey guys, look, we're going to be in groups. Okay, when you come in, you need to put your book bags up front. You got to get that done. And I think having them there, no rotations, one solid assignment, task, activity in front of them, and then they come in, phones and book bags up front, and we're rolling. And me, I'm bouncing to each. I would like to see in my perfect class, perfect lesson, I've got kids asking questions among the group. When somebody in the group doesn't know it, can't explain it, then the hand goes up for me. That's in my mind the perfect grouping strategy scenario. With it today was a review. With it being a review, I thought the groups weren't going to be that big of a deal. Just you've been exposed to those guys. We've done this before. Hey, let's do it. Yeah. Next time I would 100% do more like differentiation. I guess I would put the way I would do it. I know that some people like to put the lows with the high kids. I would put my low, like my low kids with the low kids. My medium that's kind of grasping it, I would keep them together. And my high flyers, I keep them. That way they can go ahead and get ahead. And I do like the interaction, but with them being SLD and some of them are EBD and have those disabilities, I don't think I could do a high with a low. Like, it would end up being.
Wouldn't be a good mix.
Right, it wouldn't be a good mix for these kids from my past experience because one kid ends up doing all the work, which is what I saw today. You know what I mean? So, that picking the group strategically would have helped. Letting them know that they're going to be in groups would have helped. And then just having somebody walk in when they're working, asking me questions, and everybody's involved. That would be like a perfect. That would have made it 7 to 10.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
So those are some pretty good changes. How do you think we can measure those changes?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm just going to have to do it more. I'm going to have to gather data. Like today, I was pleased with the data that I got. So that's good. I need to do more. I need to do more pre-test, have more group work, and I need to start comparing their data of is it working or not. And the only way I can do that is if I incorporate this grouping strategy just more than once a month. Maybe 3-4 times a month, maybe once a week. Don't just do it for reviews, but just make it part of the class time. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of as far as measurements is I've got to just do it more often and compare. I got to see what's working, what's not, and if the group is not working, I just got to chalk it up and find something else for them because with this Algebra 1 resource class that I found is something that works today may not work tomorrow, and then something that never worked before may go perfect the next week. So it's like a curveball. I don't really know what's going to happen. So I think just exposing them to it, seeing it more often, they'll get comfortable. They'll know what to go on, and again, that builds that structure.
So you'd say you do it maybe just for reviews?
Yes.
So maybe we could set a goal on something like once a week, possibly?
I think I can incorporate that because usually once a week, again, like I get a little bit behind with the resource kids because I like to go deeper and I don't like to skim. And there's usually one day a week we have just like usually it's an independent work day, but we have like just a work day. And so, that work day can become a group work day. So I think that's possible. I think we can fit that in probably once a week.
Okay. So you think you want that to be your goal to be?
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, according to the unit, like when one thing that again, and this is every class, like some kids just have better strengths in some areas, and I can utilize that strength with a group work according to the unit. So that I think is a good goal.
Okay,
it's a great goal.
If you could hit that goal, so if we could get those kids grouped by levels and hit on it and work on, they do that stuff once a week at least. Do you think that'll really matter to you?
Oh, I think it'll matter. It'll be great for me, but it'll be even better for the kids. Yeah, like one thing in education that we always have to try something different. Everything's changing, times are changing, technology's changing, so we have to do something. And I think this group work, it's really the best situation for me. That's the way I like to learn. I like to bounce ideas off of people. With the resource kids, it's kind of hard to get them to do that, but I think most definitely if I can get them comfortable with that, it'll make me a better teacher. It'll make them better students. They'll be better community members when they're out working. They've been working with people in their whole high school career. So I think it'll be good for everybody.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. What teaching strategies do you think you could possibly use in your class to hit that goal of getting the kids grouped and then using it once a week or so?
I know it's a buzzword in education, but I'm really going to have to incorporate differentiation. I have to. If I want this to run the way that I envisioned my 10 to be running, I got to know these kids in and out. And part of doing that, I'm gonna have to. One thing that I wish I could do, and I'm going to incorporate this in my goal of having group work, is to do more pre-assessments. Not necessarily a pre-test, but just kind of before we get into this, guys, what are we doing?
Give you that baseline.
Yeah, and in that way I can run with that as opposed to, I just seen this assignment, he didn't do good on this, let me group him with there. I'm just going to have to dive in more with my kids to get the differentiation in. And then as far as that, once the groups get going, I just got to manage the flow of it, and maybe we could incorporate getting them up and out. And, I don't know, when your feedback, you said something about adding some technology and do a flip grid. Yeah, a flip grid out there. And that'd be awesome to get them going out on their own, going outside of recording within the time limit, and just, making them responsible students.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, differentiation. I mean, I'm in my master's program right now. We've been reading and writing about it, so it's just something we all got to do. And I would say 90% of the teachers do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It may not look like it, but it is. It's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And although I do it, if I want it to work right, I need to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
So differentiation for sure, man.
Okay, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And especially with the resource kids, not getting them some different things would be a good thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, finally, what are so now that we got that going on, what do you think the next steps are for you?
I kind of hit that pre-test.
Yeah.
You know, I got to start doing pre-test before each unit. I think doing warm-ups more often.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, a couple of weeks ago, I ended up doing like a drill and repeat Kahoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I got good results from that, but I hadn't went back to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to get more consistent with my, because, you know, with 55 minutes in them, I'm trying to get them in. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
And I know it can get monotonous for them, but so I'm going to have to start doing the pre-test, and if I can incorporate technology, that'll help for sure. And, you know, you're trying to reach all the kids. Some of the kids don't want to work with somebody, but they got to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just going through, checking my data, making sure that I am matching the kids up in the right spot, getting those results. If they, you know, Johnny ain't working with Elijah, then we got to mix that up. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Justin, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. Let me come see your class. I look forward to seeing some of these results over the next couple of weeks when we meet back. So
sounds good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no
Thanks.
problem.